was the hottest scene you could?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lisa over Julia.
What was your hottest death?
The hardest death scene was, I would, like from a like a logistical standpoint or from like an emotional standpoint? Logistical standpoint would have been the season two. When did the Hellhounds rip my chest open? Like I said, 3.
See that feeling? You see that feeling?
That was just so incredibly uncomfortable, and now, like if we were doing that same scene now, it would be a completely different thing. It would be all computer generated. But back then, they did everything practical. So like all of those rips were actually little. Yeah, were literally little threads that were sewn into the shirt and then yanked, and so the shirt would peel back and look like it was being clawed. My outfit or my costume was all plumbed with blood lines going up my pants and through, and so there was like this huge syringe of blood that was being pouring out of my chest. It was, and it's basically, what is it? High fructose corn syrup. What is it? Corn syrup? It's corn syrup. It's basically sugar. So as soon as it dries, this was Jared's toughest death, right here.
I'm just remembering it.
That one sucked. I think that one of the hardest ones, though, was when Metatron killed Dean, and it was less tough for what I had to do. I mean, it was the "I'm proud of us" speech, but it was hard watching him go through what he was going through. Because I think that's always tough. Like, I don't mind doing it myself, but when I have to watch other people like really get emotional and hurt, that's hard for me to watch.
That's funny. My two toughest, well said, my two toughest deaths to go through, and neither were really my death scene, but in season 1 or 2, when I'm at the bed and I'm dead and you're talking to my...
2, like I said earlier, 2.
That scene was hard, man, because I'm trying to pretend to be dead, and I can feel him, I can hear him going through what he's going, and I can feel him going through what he's going through. What do you say? I'm a big believer in energy, and so I was laying on a bed trying to hold my breath, and he's sitting there, and I can literally feel Ackles acting his heart out, and I can hear him as well, and I'm basically like tearing up, but I'm trying to be dead.
You did too.
I did.
Yeah, he was laying there dead, and I'm doing the thing, and like my tears are like hitting the sheets on, you know, right next to him, and I look down, and luckily it was the opposite side of camera. So camera was on this side, he was laying in between camera and I, and it was his right eye, like a little, I could see just like a little tear come down. And I saw that, and I was like, okay, it looks like it's working.
Yeah, so that was the toughest. It wasn't really a death scene, but I guess I was dead. And then that I'm proud of us scene. I've always hoped that's how the show ends. I don't know how it ends necessarily. So, but that to me was like saying goodbye to Sam and Dean. The whole "I'm proud of us" speech. It wasn't necessarily my death scene. It was Apple's, Dean. But that was a really tough, difficult scene to film. Like I had to kind of like regroup, and I have a great story that I hold on to dearly. And when I was able to shoot a film with one of my idols, and I played a character named Tom, I did a scene, and I cried in the scene, and it kind of took over Jared, you know? And after the scene called Cut, my fellow actor, Peter O'Toole, said to me, he brought me aside, he's like, Jared, stop, those aren't your tears. Those are Tom's tears. Save them. Yeah, and I'll never forget that. And so sometimes you get overtaken, but here I was with this legend, and one of my idols, and he just reminded me, like, hey man, we're telling a story. These are your character's tears, and these are for the people that watch the story. Like, hold on. Like, you're a vessel. Like, I feel like my job as an actor is to be a vessel, you know?
Did you say, hey, listen, Pete, Tom's tears are getting me emotional?
I should have. Inside. That was the perfect thing to say, and I didn't say it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.